I think that, as I said, Bayern for me will win the title fairly convincingly. I think Borussia Dortmund are really interesting. I mean, honestly, if you're looking for a team as a neutral just to watch because they're fun, watch Borussia Dortmund.
It's the Bundesliga pitch, man.
Well, I mean, every game has been crazy, Gab. I mean, that they have played this season. And they score goals, they concede goals. That's why I'm not tipping them to get close to Bayern.
You know what? The kind of people who watch NASCAR races for the crashes would probably enjoy watching Borussia Dortmund.
Gab is not happy with Marco Rose about the diamond midfield and the fact that the fullbacks are too exposed, which is true, and that defensively they're all over the place, which is true as well. Would you like to defend Marco Rose, or are you more in Gab's camp?
No, I take Gab's point. I would say that I think that Rose's philosophy has left them open a bit, and you do feel a bit sorry for the fullbacks because they are often really up against it with that system. But the purist in me enjoys watching them, you know. I enjoy the way that they use the diamond in an attacking sense. And I think it's been nice to see Haaland at times having somebody to play with more. You know, previously he was a lot more isolated. You know, Rice is still a very classy footballer. Bellingham, who we've mentioned, is somebody who, a bit like Musiala, plays way beyond his years. I mean, you wouldn't believe that you're looking at a teenager when you watch Bellingham on a week-to-week basis. So I think Dortmund are going to be good to watch, but they ran into Freiburg on match day 2, sort of almost a typical situation for Dortmund against a gritty team, well-organized, with a plan. They came a cropper. And that's probably going to happen from time to time. Not most weeks. I think they'll be able to bury most teams beneath an avalanche of goals. And Leverkusen are very good too, I think. And it says a lot about Dortmund's mentality. And that, I think, speaks a bit for Marco Rose and the players, that they were able to see that one through.
It's funny, just being more general about the Bundesliga, is people always point to the fact that Bayern goes and cherry picks talent from other teams and weakens them, and that's how they maintain this dominant position. And we spoke about it last year with Philip Blum, and he's like, well, people like it. Look at the attendances. I don't think they do. I think it's a dysfunctional situation. But I think, that is a structural issue.
But you can't change it.
Maybe it's going to take a long, I don't think you can. I mean, it's going to take a long time to change it. What I find interesting, and I think is more problematic, is the crazy coach hopping that happens. Because I think I tweeted this last year. I think out of 18 coaches in 18 teams in the Bundesliga, or at least the 16 teams that stayed up, I think there's only 2 that have the same coach this year that they had a year ago.
Top 7 all changed.
I think other than Union Berlin is one of the few ones. Now, what I don't understand is, and I go back to this, and with coaching, you need time to coach, to work with players. And if you're going to go and rip up the blueprint every year, you're not going to get a great product.
It's not.
But seriously, like Marco Rose, right? 2 years ago at Gladbach, we all loved him. He's so progressive, blah, blah, blah. Last year, he signs for Dortmund midway through the season, stinks after that. And people say, well, they were already trending negatively. Yeah, trend this. Obviously, when you know that your coach is leaving, it's going to have a knock-on effect. You know, we can all go and hide our head in the sand. And now he's at Dortmund, and every game looks like a car crash. It looks like a tire fire. You know, and we say it's entertaining. I'm like, I am not entertained by bad defending and people out of position and getting caught out. Like, that's not necessarily. I can see the fun in it. I enjoyed Rafael Guerrero's free kicks. I didn't enjoy the other 92 odd minutes that he was on the pitch because he was terrible. He was always getting caught out. He was giving the ball away, whatever. And that's not because he's a bad player. That's because Marco Rose hasn't had time to work with his players. And I just wonder about that. This continuous coaching turnover. I just think it's interesting. It's
not always down to the club.
I'm not.
Rose decided to leave. Nagelsmann wanted to leave. Flick wanted to leave.
And you have musical chairs and whatever. But what I think is interesting is, here in the Premier League, I think sometimes coaches stick around too long. I say here in England, where Jules and I live, right? I think sometimes actually coaches stick around too long, and it's an absolute tragedy when the coach leaves, and maybe they have too much power. In Germany, it seems that these people are interchangeable. They're continuously going and moving. And I don't know, I wonder if you could speak to that a little bit, if there's some happy medium here.
Yeah, last season or last end of season was odd because we've never before had this extent of coaching changes and teams actually paying release clauses to get coaches from rival clubs. I mean, it really was unprecedented. And it sort of flew in the face of the way that we normally think about how German clubs go about their business. And how they normally go about their business is they find a coach who fits what the club is and what the club wants. And that usually ensures a level of continuity amongst teams. But of course, it did the exact opposite. And it was almost like a bit of a fad. Oh, we've got to go and get this coach, and they'll go and get this other coach, and musical chairs and all the rest of it. I do think in the case of Dortmund, if they had known what was going to happen in the months of March, April, May, they would have kept Edin Terzic, who ended up winning them a trophy for the first time in 2017. The football was good towards the end of that campaign. He's now there as the sort of the youth technical director. But they'd have kept him, and they probably wouldn't have gone for Marco Rose. But what was done was done.
Because they have these stupid German rules where it's like, oh, no, because we need to sort this out in January so we can plan. What are you planning? Now, making Rose's job even worse is he's got Terzic's shadow hanging over him, and he knows, oh, look, the team was so much better 6 months ago before I got here, when Terzic was there.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.